I was made for you. I was made to serve you. I was made for you. I was made for you. I was made to serve you. I was made for you. I was made for you. Welcome, 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 welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Oh my goodness, I'm so honored for you. I'm so grateful that you are here. If you're a returning subscriber or viewer, welcome back. I'm grateful for you. You know what? Today we're going to be going back to the basics. Yes, back to how and where it all started. We'll be talking about identity or identity or identity, as some people like to call it. So stick around. This is a journey. Dear friends, teenagers, my teenagers especially, I can just start by saying, oh, here's what identity means, and here's what identity will do for you, and here's what knowing your worth will do for you, and all of that. And those are good. But I'll tell you guys a story, personal story. So growing up, all through primary school and even to high school, right? I never came first position. Like, you know how you would write exams and at the end of the session or semester, they would rank us first through however many people were in class. I never came first. I don't even remember ever coming second position or ever coming in second place in like academics and stuff like that. I know I came third a couple of times or just a handful of times, but usually I would rank around from fourth position through sixth position. You'd find me there. And then at the times where I've made some of the most significant changes in my life, it was as though those changes came to me as a second option. So I'll give you an example. I always wanted to, go to school for engineering. So after high school, I wrote these exams and there was this one particular course that was very important and I didn't pass it. I failed. I mean, there are reasons behind that. I actually didn't have a teacher for the course the whole time, so I literally taught myself. But basically, I failed that course and I had to try again. And I did, and I was able to get in. Even when I was like going to grad school, I to try to get scholarships. One major scholarship that I got, I was first on waitlist before I got it. And basically, it was funny because what I didn't realize, especially my younger self, what I didn't realize at the time was like all these experiences of having to either not come in first place or having to try to do something more than once before getting it shaped how I saw myself and how, and the abilities I thought I had. And so, but there was a pattern, right? There was a pattern that I started observing that was showing all of this, but it was subtle. It was something that I had to really sit down to look at before I even realized it was there. And this is what the pattern was. So every time that, I'll be invited to be a leader, to lead a team, or and this happened very more often than not, in any way I am, I'll be invited to lead in some shape or form. I never felt comfortable that I could be the number one, like be the leader. So if there's a society and there has to be a president, I never felt comfortable with having the title of president of this society, or leader of this group. Now, I was okay with vice president. I was okay with secretary. So I never really ran away from leadership opportunities altogether. But I just never thought that I could be the head, like the leader on any team. And so anytime there's something that means like I have to lead, I'd always be uncomfortable. I'd always be looking for support. Like I would always want to have like, oh, co-chairs. If you say that I'm the cheerleader or I'm the chair of something, I have to have like many co-chairs because I wasn't made to be number one. I've never really been number one. Now I'm the first child, right? So it's not like I have no experience being the leader or the first. But when it came to the things I did with myself, the things I did with my abilities and with my strengths, I just never felt worth being the number one. Now, this happened for actually the most part of my life. When I was in college, I ran a business and it was a side hustle. It was like a hobby, but somehow it was also like a business. But you see, even after having that experience of being an entrepreneur, I still never felt confident enough. I still never felt like I was made to do something by myself. It was always like, yes, I could be on the leadership team, but I have to have a team. I have to have someone else who has very same title as me or very similar titles or very similar title as me that I could fall back on or fall back to. Now, this was a pattern that followed me through up until my 20s. I'm still in my 20s, so it followed me through for a long time. And, whether I liked it or not, it became my identity. Even though people did not know about it, right? It was my internal thing. It was something I internalized because I would always show up anyways. I'd be on the team anyways. I wouldn't run away from responsibility. But deep down, I knew that don't make me number one. I probably cannot do it. Now, this is not to say that you shouldn't, this is not me saying teamwork is not important or I shouldn't have a team. That's a different story altogether. The point in all of this was the experiences I had from childhood, the patterns that I saw that were kind of repeated, shaped my identity. And because I didn't consciously reject that, subconsciously, that became my reality. Not only did it become how I saw myself, it also became how I interacted with the world, with my gifts, with my skills, with the things I was interested in, with the things I was good at, even the things I wasn't good at. Basically, that formed a big part of my identity. Now, I'm sharing this story to let you guys know, especially my teenagers, my teenage girls, to let you guys know that whether you like it or not, the truth is your environment, your experiences, what you saw growing up, what people have said to you, it becomes and it forms your identity unless you choose otherwise. So unless you choose otherwise, who you are, who you think you are, and who the world sees you as based on how you interact with the world is going to come from everything around you. And it's going to form patterns. And if you don't do anything about it, you are going to believe that that is what you're destined for and that is who you are. You're going to begin to believe the patterns in your life, which have come just because you refuse to see and choose your identity and who you want to be. So guys, this video really is about me coming to tell you that it is very important for you to find your identity and choose your identity very early. Because life is going to come at us, life comes at us from all angles. And if you don't know who you are, if you don't choose who you should be, you're just going to keep going with life, and it's going to be very frustrating. Have you guys seen this thing called culture? Do you guys also know that culture changes with time? Can you believe that this was fashionable, was what was fashionable in the 1920s? And in the early 2000s, this was fashionable. And in 2010, this was fashionable. And today, 2020 and beyond, this is now fashionable. Now, see how we interact with the world around us has changed over time? Basically, you cannot rely on culture. You cannot go to culture to tell you who you are and tell you who you should be. If you do this, as quickly as a trend comes up, is how you are also just going to be up and down. If you follow the culture to tell you who you are, you know how trends just come like this and go like this. Like something that was trendy 2 months ago is no longer trendy again. The TikTok sound that was trendy last month is no longer the TikTok sound that's trendy today. And can you imagine if your whole life is built upon that? Can you imagine how unstable? Can you imagine how worried, how troubled you will be? Now, the thing is, as teenagers, there are already so many things that are competing for our attention and time. Like, we're dealing with enough already. Our bodies are changing, our minds are changing, we're learning, we're growing, we're becoming adults. We don't need to add to that instability. We really don't need to add to that instability. And so, ladies and gentlemen, getting your identity and learning to choose who you are early in life will really help you to make better choices and get better results, which are more stable, more reliable, more true to who you are, and more rewarding and more fulfilling. This was just the part 1 of my identity series video. Please watch the next video, which is part 2, where I'm going to do a deeper dive in how to begin to define your identity and to find your identity. So please watch the next video and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe guys, subscribe to this channel so that you could get more content. I want to interact with you guys. Like, I'm here for you, you're here for me. I want to learn from you as much as I want us to be in close communication. Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned to my next video. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe, like, share. Love you, love you, love you.